Hello friends, I'm Anuradha Kadam and now we will see the third part of this second chapter of 8 Science Microorganisms Friend and Foe. In previously you are aware now how these microorganisms are friendly. Microorganisms are used in making code. So you learn in 6 or 7 also that the microorganisms like lactobacillus is making the curd from the milk. So actually curd contains the several microorganisms. Of these, the lactobacillus or the lactobacillus promotes the formation of curd. Actually it multiplies in milk and convert it into curd. So the bacteria are also involved in making, as you are aware, cheese, pickles and many other food items. It is very important if you see, if you are aware the important ingredients of the rava idli. Okay, so the important ingredients is the curd. You are aware why the curd is important ingredient? Guess why? Yes, it starts to produce the means what is means yeast reproduces rapidly and produce the carbon dioxide during the respiration, and bubbles of the gas fill in the duct and it increases its volume. So this is the basis of the use of yeast in the baking industry and making breads. In the baking industry mostly they use the yeast for making the breads, pastries and cakes. As you are aware, the commercial use of microorganisms means microorganisms are used for the large scale of production of alcohol, wine and acetic acid means vinegar which we are using normally in so many recipes of the Chinese food. So yeast is used for commercial production of alcohol and wine. For this purpose, actually the yeast is purposely grown on the natural sugars which present in the grains like the barley, wheat, rice and crushed fruit juices. This is the smell of alcohol as sugar has been converted into alcohol by yeast, and this process of a conversion of sugar into alcohol is known as fermentation. Louis Pasteur discovered the fermentation in 1957. See, some microorganisms are also used for medicinal use. As whenever we fall ill, the doctor may give some antibiotic tablet or the capsules, or sometimes they give injections also. So the source of these medicines is microorganisms. These medicines kill or stop the growth of disease causing microorganism. And yes, you are aware now the disease causing microorganisms are called as pathogens. And such medicines in which the microorganisms are used, they are known as the antibiotics. Actually these days a number of antibiotics are being produced from bacteria and fungi. See, antibiotics are even mixed with the feed of livestock and the poultry to check the microbial infection in the animal. They also used to control many plant diseases also. But yes, it is very important to remember that whenever we are taking antibiotics, we need to take some precautions, or we have to take such antibiotics with the advice of the qualified doctor. Also, you must complete the course of prescribed by the doctor. If you take antibiotics when not needed or in wrong doses, it may make the drug less effective when you might need it in your future, because our body is now aware with such microorganisms, so their soldier systems are ready to fight with these agents. And also, whenever we are taking antibiotics, we need to avoid it to take unnecessary. As we are taking it unnecessary, they may kill the beneficial bacteria in our body. So antibiotics, however, are not effective against cold and flu, as these are caused by the viruses. Sometime what happened, we are suffering from cold and flu and we are taking medicines and we are feeling that we are not feeling better from the situation. It happened because antibiotics work against only the bacteria, and the cause of that cold and flu is virus. So it is not going to work over this infection. So in this way, these microorganisms are useful, and we are using these kinds, we are using it in a food preservations also. Okay, so how we are going to be preserve the food? So some important points we will see from the food preservation. Now see, food preservation is the most vital part of the food industry. In the first chapter also we seen storage or preservation is very important. If the production of the grain is good, but if we are not keeping them properly, so they may, what happen? They may damage or they may affect by these microorganisms. So for food preservation, some chemicals are also used and some routine our methods or the traditional methods are also used. So we will see one by one. So certain chemicals inhibits the growth of bacteria and increase the life of the cooked food. Certain simple preservation methods can be carried out at our home. A simple method that we are boiling the milk. Okay, 2-3 times we are boiling the milk. If we are not boiling the milk, what happen? The bacteria, as we have seen, bacteria, they are making curd, it is good. But if unnecessary, if we not boil that milk, so that unnecessary also this bacteria starts to grow and they spoil the milk. So first we will see the chemical methods. Chemical preservatives are used in the food preservations by major food industry as they are harmless to humans. Sodium metabisulfate and sodium benzoate are commonly used chemical preservation. Use of common salt. Common salt is also known as sodium chloride, is used as a preservative at home. Vegetables are pickled using salt, as the salt removes water and kill bacteria and fungus cell. When your mother is making the pickle, at that time also she is using the salt. Now see, we can preserve the food by sugar also. So preservation by sugar. Sugar is used for the preservation of jams, jellies and squashes. The growth of microbes is restricted by the use of sugar, as it reduces the moisture content. And as the moisture content is reduced, very less possibility of the germination of the microorganisms. Preservation by oil and vinegar. Many food preparations like pickles are preserved by adding either oil or vinegar to them. Bacteria cannot grow in such medium, so by adding oil and vinegar, means that they inhibits the growth of the microorganisms. That pasteurization process. So this is the process when we have to superheat and we means it get cooled. So as you observe that in our house, the mother is boiling the milk before it is stored or used. So boiling kills many microorganisms. Similarly, we keep our food in the refrigerator. Low temperature inhibit the growth of microbes. So pasteurized milk can be consumed without boiling as it is free from harmful microbes. The milk is heated to about 70 degree centigrade for 15 to 30 seconds and then suddenly it chilled and stored. By doing so, it prevents the growth of microbes, and this process was discovered by Louis Pasteur, and it is named or called as pasteurization method. Now, storage and packing. So, normally the dry foods and even vegetables are sold in a sealed airtight packets to prevent the attack of the microbes. The absence of air prevents the growth of bacteria or fungi.